ReefFresh is sponsored by Derek,
Like a bee or a wasp
Derek's
flying
Free
by
Shop,
him.
and the Fresh Side. The show is also sponsored by Tropic Marin.
It's pretty funny. All right.
Well, hey, we're back.
Hey, we're back. Episode 19.
Is it I keep forgetting this shit.
I think.
We probably should turn the music off.
Yeah, let's turn the music off.
Yeah. I don't, you guys want to listen to music, go for it, but I think it'd be
It'll probably go against YouTube's.
Don't play our shit in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
What do we call it?
So anyway, I just wanted to let everybody know about our next show. Not this show, but the next show.
The next. Oh, you want to tell everybody?
Well, I'm not telling them. I'm just saying tune in because we got a surprise.
Oh, yeah, that's not what you want to say.
That's how I'm
you still want to tease them.
I'm teasing them. It's called a teaser, man.
Well, you know what? We're going to be doing that a lot more often.
Yeah.
It just helps the show, and it helps bringing in some topics and have some professionals.
Yeah. You're giving them
having some professionals on the show.
No, that's not teasing. That's giving away the whole.
Yeah, but still don't know who it is.
Well, I suppose.
Yeah.
I suppose. But yeah.
Yeah.
So next week's show is going to be different.
It's going to be good. Yeah. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Well, we still haven't quite figured out we're going to do everything, but this is a good first dry run, if we will, right? Because
exactly.
The guy's pretty cool, and he's not a guy. It could be a girl. That was a slip there.
I got the squeaky chair.
Yeah, well, I'm actually going to start using the other one because I used this chair last week, and it really bugs my back. So I'm going to start using the other chair to.
Go get it if you want.
No, we're good. Let's
okay, you're not going to wimp out on me?
No, let's get this rock and rolling here.
Let's get it rolling. Episode 19.
19.
ReefFresh with Kevin and Derek.
Who's who?
You're Kevin
and
I'm
Derek.
Kevin?
Okay. Just want to get that one straight, too.
Yeah. So...
what are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about temperature.
Temperature.
That's something that's, some people say, I keep my temperature at this. I'm like, woo.
Oh. Because I'm a nurse, my background's nursing and all that stuff, temperature is very important. Do you know how to tell the difference between a rectal and an oral thermometer?
Yes. One goes in the mouth, one goes in the eye.
Well, yes and no. The rectal one tastes funny.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. That's how you tell the difference.
Oh. You can taste it, I won't.
All right, back to temperature.
This is temperature for freshwater or saltwater. Yeah. Obviously, because it's called ReefFresh because we're talking about fresh inside.
Right.
So for me, you'll discuss about the freshwater. And I'll discuss more about the saltwater.
It's pretty much
the same. Yeah. But like for a saltwater tank, the main thing is I keep all my tanks around 77 degrees or below.
Yeah.
I do not go any higher than 77.
No.
Some people say why? I got my tank around close to 80.
It's a little warm.
Yeah, that's a little warm, and it's more about corals.
Yeah.
And fish that are from a little bit colder sea areas, they won't like it. Stuff from Hawaii, like Nassau tanks and stuff like that, they don't like it warm.
And the other thing too, keeping your tank unnecessarily high, you're burning energy you really don't have to. Especially
you're burning energy, and you're burning energy, and you're playing with fire.
Yeah.
Because if something really goes wrong, for some reason,
you haven't got a lot of leeway. You
don't have a lot of space there to.
Yeah.
Because once that tank starts hitting 82, your coral is going to die.
Yeah.
And they'll die not right away either. You'll start seeing some RTN on your corals and stuff like that, but within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and stuff starts dying. And you're like, what's going on? What's something wrong with my water parameters? No, you had that temperature spike and stressed the shit out of them.
Yeah.
So even for me, a store, when I bring in corals, if they got too warm, that's why sometimes I'll hold them for about 2 weeks just to make sure. Because if I sell it and the customer brings them home and they start RTN him, start dying on him, he's puzzled, right? What's going on? But what happened is actually got too warm during shipping, and then starts RTNing on them. This is what happened to this tank. I forgot to turn on the heat pump here, and it was on a Monday and Tuesday when we were closed. I come in here and whoa, it was warm in here.
Yeah.
So
and I was speaking to a lady just last week, and it doesn't take long because
no, it doesn't take long.
That's
the thing about
these tanks. She went to work, and when she came home, the heater had stuck on, and everything was cooked in her tank.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take long to get up there to 90
long.
degrees, and especially if your house is already warm, right? Then your heater sticks on.
Yeah, you're cooking stuff.
Yeah.
It's like also like when we bring fish in, that's the same thing. You know what? Like sometimes during the wintertime, fish will come in. I'll take the temp to see the temperature. When you take the bag out, you're like, ooh, shoot, man, that's cold.
Yeah.
And sometimes like 60, 66 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
But they're capable of handling it. A little bit too long in there, they would have died. But but if I would have got fish at 80 and plus, it's not good.
We lost the whole shipment. And
I lost cleaner shrimp because of that.
Because we thought it was sitting on the tarmac.
Well, it was from Indonesia. It was a double stacker. When I'm talking about double stackers, like there's one box at the bottom, another box at the top.
Yep.
So the bottom one was on the asphalt or on the tarmac, wherever it was. I don't know. I didn't see where it was.
Yeah.
But everything at the bottom was all
It was
cooked.
dead.
It was all dead. Everything was dead. So that's what
And the
happened.
water was hot. Like when you literally, and so it was on the plane. I mean, it took probably a few hours to get here. It was still warm when it got here.
This was direct from Indonesia, so you know during the summertime it's really warm in there. And Buddy, who works at the airlines, just left it outside or whatever, left it on the asphalt or something like that. Because obviously it's the asphalt that was really hot, and it sat on that and just boiled them to death, right?
Yeah.
And I never got compensated for it either. No, never got compensated. They said, "Oh yeah, we'll compensate you for it," and never did. It's not, it's not really their fault, but still, whatever. Same thing for me. If I would ship something to somebody and something happened, I have to come good about it, right? So that's the thing. So try to keep your temperature. I like to keep my temperature around 77.
Yep, 25.5 degrees Celsius.
Yep. And if you ever do like seahorses and stuff like that, that needs to be colder. It needs to be 75 and below.
And we get quite a few times we'll get a call from people that want to keep local stuff.
Yeah. Well, us is cold here.
Yeah.
So water or species here, they're at 9 degrees Celsius, which is in Fahrenheit.
So you almost need a chiller if you're going to keep, local stuff, right?
Yes, and you need a good ventilation because if not, the glass will always be fogged up or dripping from condensation.
Yeah.
Because it's making that cold water hitting the hot air and the house is making that condensation.
Yeah. So. And the other issue is the snails and hermit crabs from our local area. They'll live in your tank, but they won't live long. Like they come to the hot water.
Yeah. Well, I brought a bunch of hermit crabs for Pete there.
Yeah.
Or pufferfish. And I know within 2-3 months those hermit crabs
they'll be all dead. Right.
They'll be dead.
But they can tolerate for a little while, but they can't live in it.
Yeah, he was looking at them like, oh, I'm not sure. You're not from the Caribbean. You don't look like scarlets or blue hermit crabs. What is this brown hermit crab you're doing?
I'm sure after you taste one, you'll get the idea.
Well, it's just to crunch his teeth because he'll.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it for temperature. Just don't do what you want to do, but I mean, try to keep it around 77 degrees. Don't play Russian roulette and bring it up higher.
Yeah.
It's not worth it at all. Some of the corals like Western Australia. I got a fan going there. Western Australia, like not Western Fields, but Wilsoni's, they prefer colder water.
Yeah.
So you remember when I had those corals, I had to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me just lock up the door.
Yeah.
Fish of the week for saltwater. Fish of the week, saltwater. So we're going to talk about the peppermint basselet.
Yes.
I call it the peppermint. They're also called the Swiss guard.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that is the coloration. Obviously, the peppermint looks like a peppermint. And the Swiss guard, the Swiss guards from Switzerland, they have those uniforms that look like that fish.
Yeah.
So that's why they named it like that. But it's a really nice fish. You can add in any size tank, nano tank, and up. Because they're reef dwellers. They're not going to move around through. They're not a big swimmers. They'll just hang out. And they come from really depth. So for divers to go pick them up, it's a little job for them to go get them. And they're a lot of money too. But they're easy to care for. Like to take care of them is easy. They're a carnivore, so they only eat meat. In other words, they're not going to eat algae or anything like that. So your paws, stuff like that, you feed them frozen all the time. I feed them pellets, Vitalis and piscine mice is pellets, and he's chomping them. Yeah, he's munching them now. So I got a little video of him. He's a really nice fish. You guys, thought for sure I was going to throw him in here.
Well, he's still in the store.
He's still in the store. Yeah.
While he's still in the store,
it's a $300 fish, right?
There's a risk that you're going to put it in here. I know it.
Yeah.
So somebody come buy him, because I don't want to see him with it. Like, he won't let me take it home, so I don't want him to have it either. So that's just the way it is.
He's not going in a contract. He's either going to this tank or
you heard it here first.
But no, I think he's gonna stay there unless I do another order from the Caribbean and I bring more in. Then because he ate right away and he's not camera shy either.
Yeah.
So because that's the thing, when you buy these fish, they like to hide for a while, and it's no fun when you buy a fish and you're like, where is he all the time? He's hiding somewhere, right? So he was out and about right from the get-go, so come and pick him up. Come and buy him. So it's a great fish though, like the coloration on him is really nice. So if you want something that sparkles in your tank, they're nice, really nice. They like a lot of rocky, obviously they like to hide in holes and stuff like that, so having a nice rocks in your tank for him to be comfortable. We talk about that environment our previous shows, so you got to make sure the environment is there for him. Like we had talked about the pearly jawfish, the environment for the jawfish. So always do your research before buying these fish, especially when you're paying that much money. You want to make sure that he's nice and happy. Yeah.
He's a nice fish.
Yeah. Well, he's also he can pick at your ornamental crustaceans, so like small hermit crabs and stuff like that. He'll take a snack out of that. So same thing like Pete. I'm putting him in a restaurant. One of my service tanks.
Not to eat. No.
Not the what?
You're putting him in a restaurant. I said not to eat.
I'm talking about not to eat. No, the pork pie. No. Well, he's going to a seafood restaurant.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're going to try to eat fugu. They'll try to take him out and cut him up and eat him.
No. But Pete's gonna. Yeah. But whatever. It's a seafood restaurant, so Pete will have food for him all the time. You know what I mean? Because they do shrimps and that kind of stuff. They can throw. And lobster, so the little legs on the lobster, they can chuck it in there right for him. I think he'll get really fat. All right, I think I got this all. Oh, the size, they get about 3 inches. He's almost maximum to his size right there.
I would say,
Yeah. I wanted to bring the rainbow when I had made my order. I put my order in, whatever, and like the Wednesday when they were packing it up, I got a new list. And had the rainbow. I was like, oh, I want that. And I called them and they said, no, sorry, your order's already packed. I was like, oh.
You're worse than I am, really.
Well,
when I see the list out, you go, hey Kevin, is there anything on the list you want? And I go, oh wow, look at that. And
look at that rainbow
Harlequin tusk.
Harlequin tusk.
And when I get it, you'll see it on the show.
You'll see it on the show. Once we do our order from LA. I decided to do an order for tank raised yellow tanks instead.
Yeah.
So Tim is all depressed about it.
No, I've waited almost 10 years now for Harlequin tusk. Now I have the tank for him. I have everything that he needs in order to have a good life. So
good environment.
Yep, good environment and all that stuff. So I've always wanted one. That's always been. Even when we were down Macna. Remember the one that was down at Macna? Man, if I could have got that out of that tank at Macna and smuggled it into Canada, I think I might have gone for it.
You might have gone for it. Well, you know what? It's funny because I think I was in San Diego, at Macna in San Diego. And it was the last day was Sunday where everybody would know. And I think I was there for a week after. Anyway, so we're out in the parking lot and there's this guy with a suitcase. He's like his suitcase, like he's going to go catch a flight, and he bought all these frags, all these coral frags, and he's dumping the water. I'm like, bro, like what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? And he was like from Europe, I don't know where. I think it was Spain or whatever. Anyways, he was taking like the water, soaking in paper towels, and wrapping the coral in the paper towel.
Oh, really?
And putting it in his suitcase, like putting probably in a bag in his suitcase. I said, doesn't your border agency and all that kind of stuff? He goes, no, there's no issues about it. He goes, I can't have water in my suitcase. So I said, are they going to survive? You know what I mean? Like, are you sure that your suitcase is going into a heated area in the plane? So I don't know how it make out, but he said he's done it many times and never had issues.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, remember they flagged my bag.
Yeah, you told that on the other show.
Yeah, because I had the fake coral in it.
Yeah, but this guy had real coral. I was like, oh, bro, like.
He's like, don't try it.
Don't try it. Not in Canada.
Not in Canada. Don't try it.
All right, let's go to a fresh fish of the week for freshwater.
Well, yeah, I thought we'd do some Kuhli Loaches, because what you have some in stock, I heard? I haven't seen them yet.
Holy, we made an order, and anyways, Caitlin, she goes, oh my God, this order's this much. She goes, I don't know why they're charging us so much. And I was like, I don't know. So finally, we get a list of the, like she put the order in, and she said, I want this. And it was like, okay, Kuhli Loaches, 500. 350 of these, 500 of these, and 200 of these. And she goes, oh, now I know why it was so expensive. She goes, actually, it's not expensive for what we're getting. So we had over 2,000 fish that arrived.
Oh, really?
Do that in saltwater.
Holy crap.
Could you see doing that in saltwater? Holy
2,000 chromis.
2,000 chromis. Remember those little chromis?
Yes, they came in little bags like that. Holy crap.
Wonder how they survive.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
The same thing like those gold-headed rams that we got, or yellow-headed rams, or whatever they're called. They were in bags like that.
Yeah.
Like we opened the boxes and oh my God, there's a fish in there. And Caitlin goes, oh my God, those are the rams. And we're like picking them out, and there was like 55, I think, of these little bags.
Really?
And there was just like seal, like heat seal.
Yeah.
No elastic, just. It was odd. Like there was almost really not that much air in there either. And this is all the way from Indonesia.
Yeah.
This order came from Indo. So it was kind of surprised. Let's go back to the Kuhli
Yeah, the
Loaches.
Kuhli Loaches. I haven't even seen them yet, but I'll see them
So
later.
we got 500 of them.
Yeah, so I'm going to see them later today.
Yeah, they gross me out.
You really don't like them?
They look like little snakes going all over the place. We had a customer that came in, Sheldon came in, and I'm opening the bags up or whatever. No, they were already in the bins. And he looked and he goes, oh my God, what is that? He goes, that's disgusting. I said, I know. Just feel it crawling all over you.
They're beautiful little fish.
No, they're beautiful little fish, but when they're all together like that, 500, like, just going like that at the bottom, it's just...
Well, that's where they live, the bottom.
They live at the bottom.
Yeah, they pick up food from the bottom. And
just don't let them crawl out.
They're
your pants.
Well, you got to watch, because they will get into like small little areas. So
we know that.
If they go up.
Yeah, I think we know that.
Yeah, okay, you found that out.
Our tanks are sumped, right?
Yep.
So we got a 6-tank tier.
Yep.
Right? So she put them at the top, and it was like the day after we had like 20 down at the next tank at the bottom. Right? So they're going to be all over because they're going through the strain of the bulkhead.
Yep. So you got to watch that, because they will if you have a hang on back and you're missing one on the bottom. Go look in your hang on back, because
they'll go right in the filter.
Yeah, they'll go right up the tube and right into your
Well, same thing like at Bass Pro. I got those American green eels. How many times did I take one out of the pump? Like seriously, and he's all like, these are big ass pumps, right?
They're big ass eels too, though.
Yeah, they're big ass eels. Yeah, they're about that long. But the pumps like this has a basket and has a window at the top, right?
Yeah.
And you can hear the pump not pumping like it should. And I look in the basket in the pump, and I see this eel in there. I'm like, oh, great, he's dead, right? Turn off the pump, turn off the bulkheads, open that up, take him off, and he's alive. He's alive. Holy jumping! What are you doing? He's all cut like all over. They're tough little suckers.
They are. Yep. Yep. I've caught more of those. We used to spear them.
You gotta be good with a spear.
No, in the winter. In the winter, they go into the mud.
Oh,
and then we cut a hole in the ice, and we have a spear, and you go around the hole, and you take your spear and you spear it into the mud.
Okay.
And then when you feel one, then you pull up the spear, and what's really weird is you take them and you throw them on the ice, and they'll freeze, like laying on the ice all day while you're fishing, right? And then we used to put them in a potato sack and bring them to my grandmother. My grandmother used to love these. And you take them in, and you literally throw them like in the woodshed or someplace, and they'd warm up, and then the whole bag would start moving all through the porch, because
they survive.
As soon as they thawed out, the whole bag would start moving.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, it was fun. Anyway, Kuhli Loaches. Kuhli Loaches. They stay relatively small, 3 to 5 inches. And they like medium to soft water for hardness. Average temp for normal ranges for temp, things like that. The pH 6 to 7. I mean, They're a pretty easy fish to keep. They feed off the bottom. The biggest thing is to remember with these guys is don't put them in with fish that'll eat them. That's pretty much the rule for them. They'll go with pretty much everything because
they're not going to bother other fish.
They're not bothering anybody.
You're more worried about fish bothering them.
Yeah, you're more like.
But they eat snails too, right?
Yeah, they'll eat snails. So if you do have, and that's the nice thing about them because they go in a 20-gallon tank. So if you have a snail population you want to get rid of, the Kuhlis will help with that, with taking them out.
They'll probably go after the babies, right? Because
anything that,
whatever they can fit in their mouth, obviously. But
whatever goes in their mouth, they'll take out.
And you need more than one in the tank.
They
do better
3.
as a group.
Yeah,
Because I see them going like all over the place.
They want to be at least 3. Again, they're like, like all loaches. Like I have my clown loaches, my yo-yo loaches. Those get really big, whereas these guys taste a bit smaller. Like the 20-gallon tank's fine for them. Where your clown loach, I mean, he's going to be a foot when he's full grown, right? So I have a shoal of yo-yos and clowns, and then your smaller tanks. If you have your snails, these guys are great to take out some snails for you. So
cool.
They'll keep the population down. They may not eradicate it, but they'll certainly keep the population down for you. But they're cool fish. I like them.
Yeah, they're kind of cool. It's just when you see them like 500 in the bin like that. And we're fishing them out, right? We're going to put them in the system, Caitlin and I got the net, and she's like picking them up. I'm looking at her like, oh, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that.
The other thing you remember is they like soft sand bed too. They're a soft substrate.
Okay.
Sand is nice, but if you have a soft sand substrate, that's
crushed coral. No.
No, I'm just going to cut them. They're all like most loaches.
No scales.
Scales, yeah.
No scales.
So they just have skin. So anything sharp is going to cut them.
No protection.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go next. You good with the Kuhli loaches?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I like them.
How much time we got left? 6 minutes. All right, the next product of the week, bone cutters. I still use these.
When you can find them.
Whenever I can find them. Yeah, I'm always texting Kevin, where's my bone cutters? Oh, they must be in the drawer. But these are for fragging corals, right?
Yeah.
Mostly more SPS, acroporas and stuff like that, where you just go over there and break off a branch. You can go get other wire cutters that you want, but they'll end up rusting on you. And you don't want that rust to fall into your tank. So get yourself a good medical bone
quality,
cutters. Quality. Ecotech Marine had a kit. These.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, they had like the plugs, the glue, the forceps, the cutters. It was like for $100.
Yeah.
It was a sweet deal, and it had like a nice bamboo case and that on it. It was like, yeah, I don't know why obviously it wasn't. I don't know why people weren't buying it because it was a sweet deal. Obviously, they must have not made enough money off of it, and the sales weren't there or whatever. I don't know. I'll have to talk to Jay or whatever, but. It was a great deal. Like seriously, I don't know why. I had a bunch of them here, and they sold, but whatever. But and the thing, what I do with these is like, I'll have a little bit of rust going on these, but not like wire cutters that we'll use that you buy at Canadian Tire or your hardware store. I'll take some vegetable oil and soak these in there. So that is a good practice. The vegetable oil, soak them in there like in the inside where it moves and stuff like that, so you're able to use them again. If you don't, it's not gonna work as well.
Yeah.
But whenever you're fragging corals too, like acroporas and stuff like that, I prefer using my bandsaw now because when I cut the coral, like the underneath the coral it's nice and flat. Where this, you're chipping it, so it can be off. So you're gonna have to like snip it a little bit so the bottom is, so you can put it on the frag plug and it stays up.
Yep.
So yeah, that's my product of the week. Bone cutters. Like I said, you can purchase these. It's not something that I ever sell here, to be honest, except for the Ecotech ones that I had. But if you ever want some, see your local fish store to bring these in if you like fragging. Because once you start fragging, oh man, you're going to be hooked. You'll be hooked fragging corals all the time. It's fun. But yeah, that is a cheap way. Because if you want to buy yourself a bandsaw, listen, you need to cut a lot of corals to use a bandsaw.
Yeah.
That'll be great. You don't like bandsaw for LPS is nice because you can really move it around, you know, between the mouths and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This you can't do that, but they're great for SPS. Or you know what, you have something, I don't know, some aptation on one of your corals on the dead part of the coral, you want to take it out and snap it off.
Yeah.
Or even rocks, like anemones are on rocks and stuff like that. We use that often.
Yeah.
The anemone's like in a hole of a rock, and we just chip the rock around, or we sell the guy the whole rock.
Yeah.
That's what I did over here. That one of the
Oh, did you sell that?
I sold. You know, the enemy was right in the hole, and I was like, bro, like, he says, I'll buy a whole rock. Okay, sounds good.
Are the clowns still in there? Or?
Now the clowns are still in there. I may put them in a Honda too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, the Oscillators are not going in the iridium for some reason. So if I put them, I know they'll go in.
Oh shit! Yeah, yeah. They love the NEMs. Yeah.
Yeah. So next is pay to learn.
Yeah.
Pay to learn. Oh yeah. Well, we talk about temperature.
Right.
So you mentioned that story where that lady, her heater stayed on.
Yeah.
And in my tank, the big tank, I got some Eheim heaters here.
Yep.
That they stick on. So they're on a controller.
Yep.
So it makes no difference. You can take that heater and put it full blast. You don't do that.
No.
But you put it full blast. But the heater has a temperature probe. Not the heater. The controller has a temperature probe. And the controller controls the sockets on the power bar that comes with that controller. So for the freshwater people that don't do controllers, this is a great tool.
Yeah. But you can buy just the temperature control.
Yeah, you can do that. Well, you need that power bar. So what happens, the controller, the computer talks to the power bar. So you say to the computer, say, you know what, that socket, you'll get like 6 sockets or 5 sockets, whatever controller you're buying. And you'll say, you know what, this socket is going to be temperature. So the controller says, okay, if the temperature is at 77, the socket is dead. Yeah. There's no electricity going in that socket. If the temperature goes below 75, whatever, it kicks on. And it gives power to that socket. So in other words, what we're saying here is that even if you have a bad heater, you can still use it on a controller. Yep. Because it's a controller telling the socket, the power socket, to turn on or off.
Right.
So
yeah, and you can buy just like I think Ice Cap has one.
Well, a lot of people have it. Yeah, Ice Cap used to be American Pinpoint, or was
just have so you don't need a controller itself.
You don't have to spend $2,000 if you just want to do temperature.
Right, for freshwater, they just want the temperature safety. Yeah. Now, the only thing it's nice if you get the alarm for low temp, because if your heater burns off, then your controller tells it to come on.
It doesn't come on.
It doesn't come on, and your probe, if you get the alarm for low temp, then that's excellent.
Well, if you buy like a GHL or an Apex, you get the app on your phone. You'll get the notification saying this is off, right?
Yeah.
So you know what? It's the best investment for an aquarium, saltwater or freshwater. Is getting a little controller. You don't have to spend all this money unless you want to do auto water changes and stuff like that. Then you're talking about a couple grand. But if you just to do temperature and pH or whatever, get yourself a little. Most of the time, like the cheap controllers, whatever you usually does pH and temp. Yeah. So it's nice to have for the freshwater people to have that temperature and not the temp and the pH. Yeah. So they can look, because there's nothing more accurate than a probe. Yeah. Instead of looking at these color things for pH and whatever. Oh, I think it's 7.2, but it could be 7.7. Yeah. You know what I mean? So having a probe is going to tell it 7.3, 7.2. You just got to calibrate it here and there. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah, and the other nice thing too is I have 2 heaters. Okay. So if one does malfunction, I still have the other one.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And they're both through my probe.
It's always good to have 2 heaters. Yeah. So we're back. My timer had gone off. Yeah, so we're talking about food. I thought I was missing the chair there. So we talk about chillers where some of them do both for heat and cold temperature. Yeah. So but a chiller is very expensive. You can buy a nice controller for the price of a chiller. Yeah, big time. But people like down south, like Florida, whatever, all those areas, all their occurrence run on chillers. Yeah. That's why you see like Red Sea and all these guys, like they have this empty in the cabinets for you to put a chiller in. Yeah. So, I think that's about it. All right. So pay to learn. That's when we're talking about pay to learn. We're saying about temp is because if you don't have something with your temperature, you can fry your tank up. Yeah. Most of the time, the thing sticks on. Yeah. It stays on, and you don't realize until either stuff is dying,
Yeah.
or you put you feed and you touch your water and say, ooh, this is off.
Yeah.
Now, and for salt water, this is really bad because you're going to lose.
By
the
then
corals.
you're already in. Yeah, you're
That's what
already
happened
in
this
too far.
time. You see the corals are dying in there. Somebody, I lost my purple bunseye. I lost. You know, I'm not a happy camper. So yeah, next is support local fish stores. So support your local fish store.
Support local. That's all really.
If things are going better now, like for us, we're
Yeah.
able to start bringing fish in, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
this is why we had 3 orders, 1 salt and 2 for fresh. So we have another salt water coming in this week. So it's
Starting to pick up.
starting to pick up. So support your local fish store. Get those fish. Get those products from your local fish store. All right, thanks.
Yep.
That's it.
See ya. Remember, like.
Yeah, like, subscribe.
Yep. And tune in next week for our
Next week for a surprise.
For a
Or a
surprise.
guest surprise.
a guest surprise.
I don't
Is it a guest surprise or a surprise guest?
A surprise guest. Ooh, French guy here. The French guy. So yeah, so we have a special guest coming in next week.
Yep.
So tune in. I still didn't do last week's episode. I didn't.
You still get last week's episode?
No, I didn't. No, it's still on the memory card. I didn't have time.
Come on, chop, hey.
I know. There's always something
Come
going
on. Yeah, you're all
Always
right.
something going on.
You're saying, oh, I'm going to go to the beach.
Actually, no. Well,
Go stay
I
at
brought
home.
my laptop here and I brought everything here to do it here, and yeah, it didn't happen. So, but yeah, I'm going to the beach today.
Hey, yeah, he's not editing.
It was plus 40 degrees outside.
So stay the hell home and do your video. Holy jumping.
Yeah.
Winston, where are you? Producer.
All right, I gotta go. I gotta bring my scuba tanks to Bass Pro, and
Go.
awesome. See you, folks.
Have fun with that.